Hello and welcome to another special Talk Norwich City podcast. I am super pumped to be chatting with this yellow fellow today. 94 appearances for the club, 3 glorious goals. Captain, of course, a fan favourite, part of the 18-19 title-winning squad, a proper Portugueser who wasn't afraid to have a pitch war for the Yellow Army. Ivo Pinto. Ivo, how you doing, my friend?
Hi, Chris. Thank you very much for your invite. And yeah, of course, it's a pleasure for me to be here in your channel. And everything has been good. Of course, missing Norwich a lot, as you can imagine. Missing you all, the supporters, the club, everyone. And yeah, still playing, still young, still fresh. So we keep on going.
You certainly look like it. It must be the Portuguese genes, Ivo. Let's start by taking you back to the beginning of your time at Norwich. I remember it being a very exciting time as a fan, because we'd signed some big players in that window. Obviously, yourself being one of those. Talk to me about the day that you first joined Norwich, when you walked through the gates, when you saw Carrow Road for the first time. Here you are at Carrow Road. What was the feeling like for you around that time, Ivo?
Oh, it was amazing, to be fair, Chris, because Premier League was my dream, to be fair. And yeah, since I arrived at the airport and I had Phil there waiting for me, and when I arrived in the stadium, I don't know, like, I felt something in the air, something special, something big, something big was coming to me after all my hard work, because I didn't have like an easy career. I had to go through Romania to Croatia to find myself into bigger paths, and finally Norwich came, and I was like, okay, this is the moment, this is the club, and I immediately felt like almost home. If you understand what I mean, like I felt at home. I feel like a fish in the water. This is my club. This is the city. This is the stadium, and everyone was amazing with me. So yeah, it just felt right. Felt right. The first day, I felt like, okay, this was really the best step I could make in my career.
That is absolutely amazing to hear. You're off to a good start, Ivo. You're saying all the right things. You can come on again. I want to ask you, Ivo, how, because it was Alex Neil that signed you, wasn't it? If I'm correct.
Yeah.
So what were the conversations like between yourself and him? If you can divulge, how did he sell the Norwich City Premier League dream to you? How did that conversation go?
No, it was to be fair. I didn't talk to Alex Neil until I arrived in Norwich.
Right.
Of course, I knew that I knew that the manager wanted me, because I think they watched me live against Arsenal for the Champions League when I was in Dinamo. But yeah, all the conversations were through the sports director, let's say like that. And yeah, when I arrived in Norwich, I had my medical tests, and then I went to Coney, and then Alex Neil was there waiting for me, and I had a chat with him, like, I don't know, 30 minutes, something like that. And I remember my reaction was like, he started talking, explaining his idea, the way he wanted to play, what he was expecting from me, and all this. And then at the end, after like 5-10 minutes, he stopped, looking at me, and it was like, do you understand what I'm saying? Because it was Scottish, and I was like, one of my first days in England. And of course, I know the English from school, but it's not the same, And he stopped, looking at me. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was like, yes, but to be fair, like 50% of it, I didn't get it, And I was like, yeah, of course, I understand. Like new player, I want to pleasure the new coach, and of course I said yes. But yeah, to be fair, maybe I'll get divided opinions, but I'm a fan of Alex Neil. I think he's a great manager. I think he did great things in Norwich, and yeah, of course, in football, when things don't work, the coach is the first one to go. But to be fair, he did an amazing job in Norwich.
Yeah, he did, and obviously he took us up at Wembley, so that'll always be on his CV. And it's interesting to hear that, Ivo. What was Alex Neil like as a manager behind the scenes? Was he the type of manager to get angry at half time? Have you been on the end of an Alex Neil telling off before?
No, no. To be fair, I was lucky with him. I think, of course, when I arrived, I was a bit soft, compared to, because I was coming from Dinamo Zagreb, dominant team in Croatian league. It was easy to play there, and then I come to Premier League, and after to the Championship. I mean, yeah, my first game against Liverpool was crazy, and yeah, of course, he got angry at me sometimes, but. Yeah, but to be fair, I think I'm like a really competitive player, and he saw that. And he really tried to help me, and he helped me a lot. And I think my championship season with him was I was really good due to him as well. He helped me a lot through the preseason as well, because I arrived in the Premier League middle of the season, like out of nowhere, And to be fair, the first months were really hard for me. And then after the preseason, I felt much better. I felt much more competitive, much more myself. And yeah, the first game I think was against Blackburn away, where I made 2 assists one to Hulvaland and another to Cameron Jerome, I think. And yeah, I was like, okay, now that's me. Now I can do and I can show what I am, And was due to him, to be fair. He helped me a lot.
Ivo, I want to ask you about that first sort of period. You said that it was quite hard for you. I want to ask why, because as you said, you hadn't played in England before, and I think it's fair to say it was a big step up for you. How did you adapt to it? And did your because you're quite good at English, I think you've always known, even from your first interview, you knew English and how to communicate. And how important was that for you? Because it must have been quite a transition from going from where you were to all of a sudden you're in the Premier League, as we've seen already on screen. You're trying to stop Roberto Firmino and all of these great players. How did you manage that?
Yeah. As you said, the English part of myself really helped me a lot, because I arrived there, and although I arrived, as I said, out of nowhere, like in a parachute from Croatian league, where the level, as I said, I play for Dinamo Zagreb is dominant. Maybe we can win every game, But knowing English was really important to start with, because I was the only Portuguese player there, and all the teammates tried to help me, like the captain, Russell Martin was amazing, Alex Tete, Martin Olsen, all these guys, they were great. Cameron Jerome himself, all of them, to be fair. I hate to talk about names, because they were all good to me. But of course, the level that I was coming from was really low. We had Champions League games, but Champions League, Arsenal in Champions League or Arsenal in the Premier League is different. I don't know, but it's different. Premier League is different. And to be fair, my first game against Liverpool was a good game. I had offensive moments, even defensively was okay. But yeah, was a crazy game. It was like an uncharacteristic game, But then comes Tottenham, and Kane just killed me. And then Del Ali was flying at that time, and I was like, okay, I need time. I need to adapt. I need to grow. I need to be stronger, faster. And I think Tottenham game was the game that really opened my eyes. And also Alex Neil, we talked, and I was like, Ivo, you need more time. We know what you are. We are not scared of it, but you need a bit more time. And then and then I think the last games when I made very good games against Arsenal in Emirates, Manchester United at home. I made really good games, and then he was really happy with me.
You don't want Alex Neil shouting you, that's for sure.
No.
I want to talk about that 2015-16 season. Obviously, the aim for us was to survive, and we failed that objective. We didn't quite get there. And I want to ask you, why do you think we didn't? Because we signed some great players. We signed Stephen Naismith, proven track record, Timmy Closer at the back, obviously yourself as well. It was arguably one of the strongest Norwich teams we've had in the Premier League, but we still didn't quite do it. And what do you put that down to? Why didn't we achieve that objective?
Well, look, I think at some point we were. I don't like to say this, but we were a bit unlucky. Against Sunderland at home, we get a red card and then a penalty also.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are 1-0 down, and then obviously 10-man penalty. I'm not sure if it was red card to be fair, but yeah, but it was penalty, and we go 1-0 down. And other games, like the games that we should compete, or at least not lose the game, we were losing the game, because sometimes people don't understand, but sometimes 1 point, it means more than 1 point, and value is more valued than 1 point, because when you have 1 point against one direct opponent, they don't have 3 points. You get one and they get one, and you keep the distances. And to be fair, I think in key moments, because you see against Liverpool is of course the game that I have more in my mind, but we were playing well. We had good
Yeah,
football.
we were.
We had good football. Of course, we conceded 4 goals or 5 goals, but we had good football. We were playing. We scored 4 goals against Liverpool. And when I tell you that, and we still lost the game, it's crazy. Normally, you score 4 goals against Liverpool and you win the game. Minimum, you draw. And other games that I remember that we were playing better and with better football, and we kind of lost those games, and those key moments that we knew maybe if we win against Sunderland at home, maybe we stay in the league. And then we lost that game, and this kind of games at the end of the season, it makes like, because it's one game less to make points, it's 1 game less with confidence, and everything together. It doesn't matter how many players you have, how many good players you have, how many transfers you make. If you don't get the results, it's the end. And of course, we had, when I remember, Klose was a top player, Naismith, Martin Olsen, Brady, Russell Martin. I think he deserves much more credit than what he gets. I think he was a great player, and also a leader. And I think people don't realize how important he was in the dressing room. But a lot of other players, Nathan Redmond, also top player. When you go through the squad, and you had Drew Mercy and Mbokani with Cameron Drum, also 2 strong strikers. We had a very, very good team with Grant Dorrance, Gary O'Neill, top players. And when you think about it, maybe we should have stayed in the Prem.
100%. I do believe it, because you reel the names out there, and I think young players, talented players, up and coming players, experienced players. But just we are going to go through. We have got your best Norwich City 11, which we will go through in a minute. But there is one player that I want to ask you about, which it's always a bit of a mystery to me. I want to ask you about the Mbok, Dear Mercy Mbokani.
Yeah.
What was he like? Because I remember meeting him once and being absolutely petrified. I was so scared of him. What was he like in that Norwich City team? Like, what was he like to play with?
No, it was amazing. I think he was in his own world.
Right.
If you know what I mean. He goes there. No, he goes, like, he's that kind of players that I think every team has 1 or 2 like this. He goes there, he sits in the dressing room, he's in his own world, on the phone, and then he goes to training, he does his job, and then he goes home. And he's literally like that. You want to say hi to Norwich fans? Hello. But it was really nice, and he was also one of the guys that when I came off the first 11 after Tottenham, he was one of the first one came to me and just put his arm over my shoulder and say, "It's okay, don't worry." And it was really nice guy. To be fair, when I go back and I think about the squad, I think we had a great squad. Of course, we had bad moments in the dressing room. It's normal, when you think you will, for example, Manchester United game, we are 0-0 at home. Maybe you make a point there, can make the difference. You don't know. And then it's team mistake. We make a mistake as a team, but of course, someone thinks it's an individual mistake or not. And then, of course, we fight. And of course, we fight. But as a team, as a squad, I think we were really good, to be fair.
Yeah. Ivo, when you say, of course, there's arguments, is there a particular argument that you could share that you remember from perhaps a half time or a full time? Was there a moment where you were like,
look, Chris, it's football. We are men. To be at the end of the day, we are playing football, but we are also men. And of course, we trade in arguments. When we are not winning, of course, in a team, when we are not winning, you have a meeting sometimes. Like I don't want to say emergency meeting, but it's like a meeting where we try to help everyone. But people have to think, when we have arguments, it's because we want to win.
Of course.
So at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, because the team that loses and there are no arguments or no fights, something is wrong.
Yeah,
you know?
that is true, my man. That's true. I'm sorry to start this podcast on a miserable note, Ivo, but I'm going to make you a bit more frustrated, because, of course, after we got relegated, that was a funny season, wasn't it? 2016-17, obviously Alex Neil in the Championship, and then Alex Neil then gets sacked. We end up 8th. Alan Irvine was the manager at that time. What were your memories from that season?
Oh, I remember our start was amazing. We were top of the league after 6-7 games. I remember we were flying. We played the Sheffield Wednesday at home. They were also a good team, and we draw, but the game was such at a high level that looked almost like Premier League. The way we played, the way they played, two very good teams. And then all of a sudden I remember that we had a bad result. I don't remember where. Maybe Fulham away, where we were winning 2-0, and then we ended up 2-2. And after that was like we fall. We fell as a team, and then I think it was the beginning of the end for Alex Neil after that, which of course in football is always the manager that takes the blames. But we as a team, when we are in such a comfortable beginning of a championship, we cannot have, of course, we can have one bad day or 2 bad days, but I think we lost 5 games in a row, and we lost. Johnny Howson was what a great player. Johnny Howson was injured, and I was injured as well, I think, and one more player, if I'm not mistaken. But we lost 5 games in a row. If you want to fight for the promotion, that can happen. 5 games without 1 point, it's really too much, And then it was hard to recover from that. So it is
okay. Well, let's stop the sad memories now. Let's talk about happy memories. Ivo, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
What does this date mean for Ivo Pinto? The 24th of September, 2016. What happened on that day? Do you remember?
I don't know. I scored a goal against.
You scored a goal. It was, of course, your goal against Burton Albion at Carrow Road.
Burton Albion, yes.
That was your first goal ever, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was my first goal ever. Yeah, as a professional footballer. Yeah.
That's crazy. What was that
like? And it was a great goal, to be fair.
It was on the angle. I remember it well. Did you believe you scored?
Yeah, I think. When I was there, I say, okay, this is what I want to do, and it worked. To be fair. Because normally I try always to cross or give a pass behind or something like that. But I remember that game, I think I had the ball, and Josh Murphy or Jacob, I don't remember who was one of them, made the pass, and then I was like, okay, in front of my winger, I beat him in speed, and it was a great goal.
It was a brilliant goal. I just remember after that the fans giving it the Ivo.
Yeah,
Ivo.
big one.
Oh, we were just really nice. we couldn't believe you had scored. We were just so excited.
Me neither. I was like, I scored.
How long was this celebration planned for, Ivo?
Oh no! It just came. I was like, okay, Carolina is there because Carolina, she's always been there. We are together since I was 16. So. Imagine, she's more than half of my life. I've been with her, so it's just like, okay, if someone deserves this, it's her. So I'm gonna give it to her. So it was good.
That's amazing. I can't do a podcast with Ivo Pinto without saying one hashtag. Hashtag Pitch War Yellow Army.
That's a good one.
Ivo, what was Pitch War Yellow Army? What did it mean? Why did you say it? The Norwich fans loved it. We still talk about it. Hashtag Pitch War Yellow Army. We still say it today. What was that about, Ivo?
I think it's kind of everything put together of my life into football. As I told you in the beginning of the podcast, is I did not have an easy career. I was in Bobista, then Porto bought me, but then I was on loan to a lot of teams. I had to go to second division in Portugal to get some match time to improve. Then I had to go to Romania to play in Champions League, and maybe to play in first 11, and maybe to be good in the first 11 to people start looking at me differently. And still, I made a top season in Romania, and then I had to go to Croatia. Not that it's a bad thing, but not like a team from Italy or England, or no, I had to go to Croatia, be there 2.5 years, play again 2-time Champions League, made very good games, and then finally I reached the Premier League and Norwich, and the pitch war is like, it's what I've been through. I have to fight every game, every meter, every minute, because I'm not. I'll go talk and in advance. I'm not like Max Aarons that has the quality that he has. I had to fight. I had to be faster than the others. When I told you when I arrived in Norwich, I had to go get some physicality, to be stronger, to be faster. So I had to be this player that works harder than the others to get something out of my career. That's why I'm so proud of it. It's like, I'm not a genius with the ball. I know that, but I work on that. So I try to be. If I'm faster than him, maybe okay, I'm not so good, but I'll be faster than him. And then we see. If I arrive faster to the ball, I have more chances to do something. So the pitch war is really that. And of course, the Yellow Army is there. I was like, okay, let's put this together. And I think it's a perfect combination, and it looked beautiful and it worked out beautifully and everyone was happy with it and I was happy with it. And at the end of the day, it was amazing, because everyone was loving it and was hashtag everywhere, pitch war, Yellow Army. So it was really nice, really nice.
It was much better than Seb Bassong's. I think Seb Bassong once used the hashtag clean shit. So I'm pleased that you said hashtag pitch war Yellow Army instead. Ivo, thanks for revealing that after so many years. If you could go back to one game, Ivo, one moment in yellow and green, what would the game be for you?
Aston Villa away when was my last day in Norwich.
Really? Okay.
Really. It broke my heart. But it's football, It's football. Football is so beautiful because of this. I knew when Max Aarons would have his chance to play, I knew it was really good. I actually talked with Nelson about it even before Max was in the first team. It was one day we watched the under 19 or under 20, I don't know, game, and he was there. And I was like, this kid is amazing. When he gets to the first team, I'll be in trouble. We talked about this. This is no secret. I told already when I left Norwich about this, and I have a relationship with Max. Top. We are really good friends, and I knew that was hard, And of course, when, for example, in my first season in Championship, I was injured. We lost 5 games. Everyone was like, "Oh, we miss Ivo." But if in those 5 games you win 5 games, maybe we don't miss Ivo. It's like that. Football is like that. And of course, when Max came to the first 11, was one of the most successful Championship seasons of Norwich with Daniel Farke. And of course, no one's gonna miss Ivo. But at the end of the day, you missed, because the respect that the supporters gave to me in that game. Because I was I don't know if it's possible to see in the images or not, but I was behind. I was at the back. I was like, I don't deserve to be in the party, I don't deserve to be there because I just played 4 games, And I was like, I kind of deserve it because I gave everything to Norwich with my heart, truly with my heart. But at the end of the day, in that season, I didn't give that much to be there, celebrating. Like, those are the boys that should be there, Max's, Pookies, those guys should be there and they deserve all the credits. But then all of a sudden, all the supporters start calling me and singing and doing the evil thing and everything. And it broke my heart because I was like, okay, they still remember me and they know this is probably my last day in the stadium. And I think it was beautiful, and it was a very good farewell, although I still played for the Russell Martin and West Wallon game. It was also emotional, but that day I was not expecting, and you guys, all the supporters that were in the stadium, they pushed me, and was really, really, it meant a lot to me,
Ivo, I don't say this lightly, and I wholeheartedly mean this. That moment away at Aston Villa that you mentioned, you beat me to it. I was going to bring it up at the end of this podcast, but I'll talk about it with you now. I'm a bit of a crier, Ivo. I do cry a lot. But at a football match, I don't cry. But Aston Villa away, when we lifted the title, as you say, that moment that you described, where you weren't playing and the players sort of pushed you forwards and the crowd singing Ivo, it really summed up the spirit of the support and the team at that time. And to see you in tears, mate, it honestly broke. You're saying it broke your heart. It broke our hearts as well.
Yeah.
We were just so happy that you had your moment to lift the trophy for everything that you'd given for our football club. So,
and to be fair, Chris, I have also to mention that my teammates, they were amazing throughout the season.
Because they all hugged you. They all hugged you afterwards, Ivo, didn't they?
I have to say, I had teammates, and One of them, I don't think is a secret, was Grant Handley. He told me, I don't know how you made it, how you handle everything that happened to you this season, but you are really strong. So, like, you credit to you, but you were really strong. But they all every day, on the daily basis in Coney, and because I was not even on the list for the games, you know. But it's food. I said I still talk with Daniel Farke. I text him actually. I talk with. It's who I am, and I'm not hiding from no one,
Good.
And as I said, it's football, and life is beautiful, and football is beautiful because of this situation. Mike Sirens came on, and now he's a star, and I hope he keeps improving and keeps getting better, because his future is really young still, and it's crazy how good it is,
Yeah,
and,
it is. I wanted to ask you about that, Ivo, Max Aarons. Again, I was going to talk about this later, but we'll talk about it now. There must be. I know you're such a gen, Ivo. You've taken that so well. You've said, "Oh, it's football. It's football." You were so unlucky. I mean, I remember you getting injured, and I think it was the game before Ipswich away, and there was a big conversation about, "Oh my God, what are we going to do without Ivo Pinto?" And then obviously Max Aarons comes along. And we were thinking, who is this young guy? And then obviously since then he just played every game. And you must have been like, what can I do? I can't do anything. He's taking his chance.
Yeah, but fair play to him, And I told him this. He did amazing. And to be fair, I have a good memory, and I know that Max did not make a defensively mistake for like 15 games in a row.
Crazy.
And I was like, okay, like even when he makes a mistake, this guy, he has to play.
Yeah.
I cannot play here. He has to play. And then I love Max. I know he knows this. It's no secret, and he deserves. He's a really good kid, a really good player, and as I said, he has taken his chance and really well. And to be fair, also the team was winning every game, so like, okay, it's done.
It was. Yeah, it was a sad story, but one that you took well for sure, Ivo. There's a bit of a funny moment, Ivo. I want to rewind again. I want to take you back to 2017, though, this time. I remember seeing this in the press at the time and thinking, what the hell has gone on there? You got injured by getting out of your car. Is this true? And how on earth did that happen, Ivo?
Yeah, it's kind of like 50-50 true, because I had something on my knee, in my knee.
Right.
And then going out of the car, it just popped. It's like a small thing that we have between the bone and the nerve or something like that, and it just popped. And then that is like, it's not like a hard injury, but it's really painful, and like it prevent you cannot play with that. It's really painful. And I was like, okay, but it was not me. It was Carolina actually. She was on the other side of the car, and she heard it pop.
No,
that was a big one. Yes, because I was like, I went out of the car and I felt something, and she was like, what was that? I was like, what? That noise, because it really popped. It was really strong, and like, okay, what can I do? I'm done now. I cannot play.
So she thought you damaged the car. So you were about to get a telling off, but actually it was your leg.
I sold the car after. I don't want this car anymore.
It's an unlucky car. Get rid of it.
Go. Finish.
I must admit, we have had some strange injury stories over the years. I mean, I think Anel Hernandez got injured that same season by walking up the stairs or something like that, and then also
he fell off or something. No,
something like that. And then that was just a funny season for injuries. But there we go. Ivo, you've already spoken about your teammates, and some of them have already had a shout out. And as you know, we ask all of our guests before they come on to provide us with their best Norwich City 11. So I've got yours in front of us here. And I wanted to just take some time to talk through some of these players. I mean, perhaps we'll spend more time on the lads that you haven't mentioned. So maybe we'll start the other way around. Let's start from Wesy himself, Wesy Houlihan. How much of a joy was he to play with?
Oh, it's truly, for me, it's truly like a Messi for Norwich. It was unbelievable. He's that kind of player that he's a magician. He's like, I don't know, you because the supporters only see us in the games, in the match, but they don't see us in training.
Yeah.
And although he does everything in the game also, but also in training, some days we just, because in training you can stop. You should not stop. You can stop. sometimes I was like, what is this guy doing? This guy is amazing. This guy is incredible. He does things that it's out of nowhere. And yeah, it was also such a gentleman and such a nice guy, to play with. And yeah, to be fair, he's probably for me one of the best players that I played, not only in Norwich but in my career.
That's a big statement. And how about Mr. Alexander Tete? Talk to me about him. Tets himself. You're quite close with Tets, aren't you, Ivo?
Yeah. Tets is my brother. We were in my last year there. We were always together doing the. He's gonna laugh when he sees this.
Okay,
we're always together doing the presotherapy. Upstairs, we had a little floor upstairs where we could do the presotherapy. Yeah. And we had two machines, I think. Yeah. Maximum 3, but I think we're 2. And it was just me and Teti all the time with my coffee. He knows, with my cappuccino. He knows this, and me and Teti, we are real friends. And he's one of the best guys I've known in football. That for me is also one of the most important things, because when football finishes, as a football player, the person that you are, the human that you are, is really important. Because the way people will remember you is not just as a football player. And Teti is one of those top guys that you can count on him. He sees no evil. He's top guy, and as a player, of course. I don't think I need to talk about Teti as a player. The things he has given to Norwich, the goals he has scored, it's unreal. And his career also. And yeah, he's one of the legends, I think, in the club.
Oh, absolutely. 100% is. You've already spoken about Ras. We've spoken about Max. I'll tell you an interesting player in there that we don't often talk about, Ivo. Martin Olsen. Why have you put Martin Olsen in there?
He's amazing. I'll tell you what. Because I'm a fullback. And I also think Martin Olsen is not one of those players with extreme quality, But when I remember the way he played, of course he made some mistakes. We all made some mistakes. But he's that player that is there every game. Bang, bang, bang. He's that player that you count on him. That he goes up, he comes down. He goes up, he comes down. He fights, he wins headers. He's that player that you really can count on. He's that player that if you have a better quality one, but you have a final, you'll put Martin Olsen. It's kind of, I don't know if you remember Carlo Ancelotti in Real Madrid, the first time he was there, he had Marcelo and he had Fabio Coentrão. And in the hardest games, Marcelo never played. Why? Coentrão was there. And he knows that Coentrão in that game will fight for every ball, for every centimeter, for every meter on the pitch. And Martin Olsen was like that every game, and it was really like a machine. And he was so consistent. And he was scoring goals as well. I think when I scored my goal against Burton, he also scored in that game. Yeah, and it was a really good player, to be fair.
There's a player in here, Ivo, and I haven't told you this. When we do these podcasts, we reach out to a few former teammates and we say, let us know your thoughts on the upcoming guest. And you'll be pleased to know that one of the players that you've put in this team has decided to send us a video message. So
closer?
It could be. Let's see who it is.
Hey, Ivo. I mean, what can I say, bro? I definitely miss you. I mean, when I arrived at Norwich, it was great that you came too as well. And we almost looked after each other or out for each other. And it was just great to be on the pitch with you and off the pitch doing stuff together. By the way, hi to the family. Enjoy the podcast. Whatever you want to talk about, just talk and have fun. You're a great person. I admire you. Just for the person you are, obviously, always positive, always with a good mindset. And hopefully see you soon somewhere, hopefully in Portugal, because the weather is very nice there. Until then, take care, good luck, and have fun. Bye-bye.
Ivo Pinto.
Of course.
What do you think of that message?
Oh, it's amazing. Oh, Team Close, we were like family, We came together to Norwich, and he was my. I remember we went to Abu Dhabi as a team trip, and he was my roommate, and was not by any chance he was my roommate, because we were always together, and we had, because when I arrived in Norwich, I was not a father. I was not even married. I married after, and Teddy was father already. So the one player that was more close to go out and have dinner and be together, go to cinema and this stuff was Tim Close, and Tim Close is like my brother, and I remember when we talked about this against Ipswich at home. We Daniel Farke already. We were losing 1-0,
Yeah.
And I was on the bench, and I was like, I don't want to say a bad word, but I was like, we're gonna lose this game against Ipswich. It's not possible, we cannot lose this game, especially in that season that we were so dominant, It's like, if there is one season that you cannot lose against Ipswich, is in this one that we are beating every team.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I see Grant Handley, our captain, crossing the ball and team, scoring with a header. And I remember I saw the video and everyone was with team, and I just arrived there late. And I grabbed everyone, taking everyone out of team to hug him, because I was so happy for him. And of course, you cannot lose against Ipswich. That's also, but I was really happy for him, because that sometimes also he got some it was a bit criticized, and that game for him, that goal for him, I think was amazing. It was he deserved it because he worked really hard. He's a top professional as well, and I was like, a goal against Ipswich from my brother is amazing.
What was he like as a roommate, Ivo? I mean, in his video message, it sounds like he was being a bit cheeky. He wanted a holiday to Portugal. What was he like as a roommate? Was he clean? Was he tidy? Was he a reader? What did he do?
He's a reader. He likes to read. He's a very cult guy. He likes to know about everything. He's like a real smart guy. And he loves his Aston Martin, he bought one Aston Martin there. Aston Martin, he loves cars. And but he's so easy to deal with, it's probably because of his size, he's so tall, and from Switzerland playing in Germany, you think, maybe this guy it's a hard one to take. No, it's one of the easiest guy. You cannot not laugh with him, you are always laughing with him. He's so funny, and his wife also amazing. The family is top notch.
So, Timmy Closer, he's been in your team and he's sent you a video message. Now, let's quickly look at your team again. Now, there is someone else that sent a video message for Ivo Pinto. And I think that you'll smile when you see him on the screen. Let's see who it is.
Ivo Pinto, where should I start? Really nice guy, helped me a lot when I arrived in Norwich to show me the club, to show me the city. He was already in the club during 1 year when I arrived, so he knew it better. He's a nice guy, very good player. The fans used to love him for his runs down the wing. So yes, I send him a big hug, and I hope he have a nice rest of the season. I'm seeing that he's playing really well in Holland also, so wish him good luck, and on the ball, City.
Your fellow Portugueser, Nelson Oliveira.
My Portuguese, the two guys with the best style in the dressing room,
Oh, really? Okay. Was he stylish?
Yes, of course. really it is.
What was your relationship like with Nelson Oliveira?
No, I knew him already, before he came to Norwich. We knew each other from the national team. I think the first time we played together was under 18. I was under 18 and he was under 17, but he went to under 18 squad.
Yeah.
And I knew him already, and I already liked him a lot. Nelson, as a person and as a football player, he's top player. And it was nice. It was nice that I could help him. When he arrived, I could help him, and of course I gave everything I could to help him a lot. And as a player, it's easy to put him in a first 11. It's hard to make a first 11 because, to be fair, Norwich is such a good club, and although it's been bouncing between Premier League and Championship, but I think it's so unfair to make a first 11. But yeah, it's Nelson probably, in terms of quality, in terms of knowing the game and what he could achieve and he can still achieve, I think it's hard to not say he's probably the best.
Really big statement. And Ivo, you speak there about making the starting 11. So you might know this. We had Nelson Oliveira on as our last guest, and he actually shared his frustrations around that one particular game, the Fulham away game, which I'm sure you'll remember. So when you see Nelson Oliveira come on and score against Fulham, and that he takes his top off and he holds it in front of Daniel Farke, and he's your Portugueser, what's going through your head at that point?
No, I just try, to be fair, I have a clear picture of that. I just try to protect him. I try to say, no, go. You score a goal, finish, because I knew already when he did not make the first 11 in that game. And to be fair, I think everyone in the squad thought that he deserved to start that particular game. Okay. And when I see him and knowing Nelson better than the others, I saw that coming when he scored the goal, and I was like, okay, let me try to protect him. Let's try to avoid something, but I understand, yet again, we are all different, we react differently. For example, I don't think I had any bad reaction throughout 1 year that I was not playing,
No.
And that's me, but we are all different, and Nelson, I think the special players are also special, and Nelson is a top player. But at the end of the day, I think it was a good reaction. I don't want to sound bad saying this, but it was like a reaction that here is my name. Here's me showing that I want to play.
Passion.
And I think at the end of the day, a manager wants a player that really, of course, not do that every game, but showing that he wants to play, and especially when he came on and he had such a big impact in the game, and probably 5 minutes more, and he scored 2 goals and 3 goals, That's how Nelson can be, how good he can be. And but yeah, at the end of the day, he scored. It was like a good goal. Wes assist, I think.
Yes.
I think.
As always.
Yeah, as always, and was good. Was a good goal.
and something you've got, I guess, in common with Nelson, Ivo, is that Daniel Farke, then that was it. Nelson Oliveira was never in his team again. And also you had a similar experience in the sense of it wasn't necessarily disciplinary. Obviously, we've spoken about Max already, but you weren't in the team too. And I guess I want to ask you this question is, what was your relationship like with Daniel Farke? Like, did you have a good one, or did you have a challenging relationship at times? What can you share about your relationship with Daniel Farke?
No, my relationship with Daniel Farke is good.
Good.
After 5 weeks that I left Norwich, Norwich City started the preseason, and I was probably one of the few players that texted him saying, "Good luck, good luck, manager. I hope you have a good season." And I didn't send that to look good, because no one knew that I sent it, and it was already 5 years ago. I'm just sharing this with you. You are the only one that, now not the only one, but
everyone now.
Everyone now. But my relationship was nice. I think the not the season that Aaron started to play, but the other season when I got injured and Harrison Reed played some games. And
yes, remember that.
And then he had one game that he was unfair with me, but I told him that where I thought I should have played. But as a player, you always think you should play, although me, sometimes I think, okay, no, Max has to play. But in that season, particularly in that game, because I made a big effort to be ready for that game, and I was asked to make that effort. And then at the end of the day, I knew that I was not playing, and I think it was unfair. But I told him this, and yeah, he explained to me, and everything was fine. And it's done, it's football, and but my relationship with him was always 100% respect. And even though I was not even in the list, which sometimes was not understandable, like a guy that gives everything, and of course some trainings after 2 months not being in the list of the game, it's hard. Some trainings you are not the same, but it's not easy to be there 100% knowing that you're not even in the list, and feeling that it doesn't matter that you score 10 goals in one training, you will not be in the list. Doesn't matter if you have 5 injured players, you will not be in the list. I never understand why. I never understand why. I didn't ask him why, but I always respected him and his coaching staff as well. I don't think they can say a bad word about me, and to be fair, I don't have a bad word about them as well. It's about choices. If in the future I don't want to be today, but if in the future I decide to be manager, I don't know. Maybe I'll be also unfair to 1 or 2 players or 3 players. We never know. So I don't like to point fingers. It's, as I said, football is so beautiful because of these situations. When you are in the wrong side, of course, it's harder. But it is what it is,
Ever the professional, Ivo. You've shared some information there. We're so grateful for that. The other thing I want to ask you, Ivo, a bit of a random one. When you left Norwich City, before you left Norwich City, actually, I think there was a rumor going around social media that the team in blue and white down the road wanted pitch war Yellow Army at Portaloo Road. Don't tell me you were going to join Ipswich, were you?
Imagine that. Imagine I would ever use blue on the other side. No, that is impossible. No, like it's just impossible. No, I will never play for Ipswich. The love I have for Norwich. Not just as a club, but the supporters, the road I had with you guys and with the club and everyone involved the club, and all the history. All the derbies that we played, and we beat them, and I never lost against Ipswich as well. So I can say that. Respect to the club, because we have to show respect, but to play there right after, especially when I was in Norwich, talking about Ipswich, was like, where this came from, But
there was never an offer. They never made an offer. You never spoke to them.
That I know of, nothing came to me. I just knew through Twitter, I think, because Twitter is a strong thing in the UK, and I don't know if it was even Teddy or something, or I don't know, some teammate told me Ipswich. I was like, are you crazy? What's happening? And I know that one club that approached, and this I can say was West Brom in my last season. When I was not playing, but then I played against West Brom as a left back for Norwich. And after that the market was closed, and then everything was gone. But about Ipswich, I never heard anything.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter. So
no, of course not. I'm pleased that we got rid of that rumor as well. We've spoken about Aston Villa and Ivo, but another emotional moment for me personally, I was very privileged to be pitch side that day for the Russ and Wes testimonial, and I remember you coming on that day and getting an extra round of applause, and the fans had one more opportunity to serenade you, to sing Ivo. And again, I could see in your eyes that you were really.
No, I cried.
You were struggling that day, weren't you?
Even my wife was down the tunnel, access tunnel to the pitch, and she was also crying because Norwich was like truly a home, really, like we felt so good there, and also I have to say the sports director Stuart. He made it happen. He actually brought this to the club, where small achievements for players are big achievements. Like 50 games for the club. Let's get a shirt. Let's get a legend to give him the shirt. 100 games, 150 games.
Yeah.
Some player that has a connection with a good connection with the club. Let's give him a proper farewell, or let's talk with him. And he brought this to the club, and I think it's also important because, of course, you have like football is a bit unfair to the players sometimes because some players they never quite make it in a club or a team, and then after one season they go to another team and they are amazing. We have so many examples. Like, I don't know, Harry Kane probably in Norwich was not the best player you ever seen. But it's just one example, and some players, the supporters forget some players, they don't even have a proper chance, and they leave the club and no one cares about them. No one is like, they don't respect that same player is training every day with the others. And some of these players that never played, some of them, I'm not saying everyone, okay, but some of them, they are true professionals and they train 100%. That was my case, for example, in the last season. The supporters already knew this because in the 2.5 years before, I was giving everything. But sometimes the player comes into the club as a new player and he doesn't play, and people don't know. Maybe he's a top-notch guy. He's working hard. He's giving 100%. Maybe he has one chance to play 20 minutes. He's not good, and people kill him. That's why he doesn't play. That's why he's this. Let him go. And this type of things that Stuart brought to the club, I think they were important. I remember when I left, there was made a wall in Coney. Now is what's the name? Now they changed the Coney training.
Lotus Training Center. Yep.
Yes, and there was made a wall with the names that's all involved in the club. And I think it's small things. It's small things that if I go there and I want to go to Norwich, I don't think it's not a secret that we talked before this, and I told you I want to go there. And if I go there, I want to be with you also in person. I think it will be really good. Like, it will be funny as well. And I want to go to Carroll Road, and I'm sure, although I was not the best player in the world, I know that I gave absolute everything of me, and I know that I'll be received well in Carroll Road and in Norwich City. You never heard nothing bad of me in the city. I think at the end of the day, I'm a good person, and I know that when I go to Coney and I see my name in the wall, it means something, Although people don't realize, it means something. It means I was here, and that is important.
Something else that means something to you, Ivo, is the colours yellow and green.
Yeah, you see? Look.
Because of course you're now at Fortuna Sittard and the yellow and green. Here we go. Hello. What's the name, Ivo? What's the name?
It's Federico.
Lovely to meet you.
It's shy now.
The yellow and green. So Ivo,
amazing.
How's your new club? How are you getting on over there?
It was a tough first season. To be fair, last season was really, really hard. Where can I start? I was not playing in the beginning, but then I got through it and I started playing again. And I was at the end of the season. I was one of the most important players in the team. And in the last 7 games, that was when I started playing. We won 4 and we drew 2, and that saved us from relegation. And in between, my father also died, and I was there in fighting and everything. So it was crazy season. The first one was, but at the end of the day, was amazing. We gave everything. And now this season, I'm settled. I'm first 11 player. Second captain. Last game I was captain. I got through it. I won my place. I'm happy again. Family is happy. The country is also really nice, similar to England. Of course, in terms of football, England is different, but we are really happy. We call it home as well. But everyone knows that Norwich is Norwich, and I hope I go back to Carroll Road, watch a game with the family, with everyone, because everyone will be happy with it.
Ivo, we will welcome you back with open arms. The Norwich City fans respect you. We appreciate all of the work and effort that you put in for this football club. Ivo, you're obviously speaking to thousands of Norwich fans now all over the world, listening and watching. What's your message to them? If you could say one thing to the Norwich fans now, the dance floor is yours. What do you say?
No, I think if you allow me, I think to start with, I think we have still a long season ahead. It doesn't look so, but I think we still have chances to go to Premier League again. And I'll be cheering up if that happens again. So the first message is never give up. Stick with the team. It has been a crazy season so far, but I think with a new manager, of course, the things are getting better, although we lost the last game. But also, Sunderland at home, you need Alex Tettey to win that game, and you did not have Alex Tettey. So, but yeah, I think if I can, I'll be really proud that the Pitch Warrior Army continues. That is not a hashtag from Ivo, it's a hashtag from the club, from the supporters, from the team, and also on the ball City, and then we go forward and we kick the ball front and we go and we score the goals that we need to.
Ivo, that is all the time. That's all of the time that we've had today. And I really, really appreciate everything that you've said, that you've done. I appreciate your time, and thank you so much to everyone watching and listening to this all over the world. If you've enjoyed this special podcast with Pitch Wall Yellow Army, Ivo Pinto, the Portugueser himself, give it a like on YouTube, a 5-star review on Spotify, on iTunes, etc. And if you've got any questions, at Talk Norwich City. If you've enjoyed the podcast, share it everywhere and let us know. Who do you want the next guest to be? Let us know on social media at Talk Norwich City. Ivo Pinto, there's only one thing left to say. What is that?
On the ball City.
Come on.